Hey everyone, Charlie here. I hope you're all doing well. Starting in February, I wanted to kind of start doing like a monthly update video. Again, I used to really like doing them on the channel, probably for the first year after it got started, because it was both, it seemed interesting for you guys to sort of understand what the process was like getting used to living here in Japan and like all the things that happened in my life, things like that. I used to get a really good reception to those. I'm not sure why I stopped doing them, but in addition to the reason I just mentioned, it's also really important for me to start keeping better track of the things I've actually done from month to month, and to be more honest and open about those things, because the fact is, no man, as they say, is an island, or woman for that matter, right? No human is an island. So the first thing I really want to talk about is my professional life. It's something that I talked about sort of having trouble with, I guess, to some extent, in that one cuppa that I put up as the first video after the long hiatus on the channel. As far as my teaching professional life is going, it's fine. You know, there's a little bit of uncertainty ahead, as I'm deciding exactly where I'm going to be from this summer onward, and as I'm deciding when I'm going to start graduate school and things like that. But aside from my teaching life, there are some interesting things in development, because for whatever reason, I'm suddenly taking my writing seriously. I'm taking myself seriously as a writer, so that's been really good, and I'm starting to move forward again with development on the Japan Standard, which I talked about before, and also with a couple smaller fiction projects, and as well as a bigger one, but that one's sort of a long way down the road. So professionally speaking, I'm really, really happy with where I am, in both my writing and my teaching careers, but I'm also really looking forward to moving ahead as a student, either this fall or starting next spring, as I've just now registered for a GRE, and I registered for sort of like the Japanese language test that you should take if you want to get into certain graduate schools. So that's something I'm doing, and I've just now sort of switched over into like, okay, well, I'm gonna act like I don't really have any money to spend all that much, because I need to save up for graduate school, and I'm sort of refusing to take out another loan to pay for graduate school. I just don't want to do it. So if I'm really, really careful, by this time next year, I'll at least be able to pay for my first year in graduate school out of pocket, and that'll be fantastic. So on the professional front, things are really, really moving forward, and like I said, although there is definitely some uncertainty, which of course leads to nervousness, me being like, oh god, I think I'm going to vomit at certain points in the day. That's not always a bad thing to feel that way, and so I'm happy to say that things are definitely progressing towards the eventual end, I think, that I want them to. Now, along with this, one of the things that I mentioned again during that one cuppa, I guess I'm going to be referencing that a lot, is that since sort of the new year came around, I don't know if it's because it's the new year or not, but like I've had like some really good progress as far as skills development goes. I don't really believe in New Year's resolutions, because I don't think you should wait around for some man-made time period to sort of get your ass going kind of thing. But for whatever reason, I've been running a lot more, I've been writing a ton, which I just talked about, and my Japanese studies have really, really come a long way since the new year began. On average, like I said before, I'm averaging about 18 hours a week of Japanese study. In total this month, I think I clocked in a little over 80 hours of Japanese study, which I think is really, really good. And it's paying off, Not as quickly, depending on the conversation, as I would like it to, for sure. But it's nice to say that I'm putting the amount of work that I should be into learning the language of the country in which I live. And related to that, I told you I think that I'm preparing for a half marathon here in March, and so I've been really putting in the miles there too. And I've finally lost all that weight that I gained around Christmas time, and so I'm back on my feet, both literally and figuratively in that sense. But it's been really nice to actually sort of push myself to develop the parts of my life and who I am. To truly develop them, and that plays out in my writing, that plays out in my language abilities, which also sort of improves my writing in English. But it's also nice to feel healthy, and to look at myself in the mirror and not feel kind of disgusted by what I see. That's a body image issue, I understand, but hashtag love yourself or whatever, So those are all the positive things for this month. But of course, like I said, I want to be honest with myself and sort of get this out there. And so I should also say that there's some places where I fell this month, you know. And when I say this month, I should say this last month. And these are the ways I'm hoping to improve going forward. Last month, I went home and I saw my family for the first time in a year. And it was so nice, you know. I got drunk with them, I ate too much, and played games and got in political arguments and whatever, all the things you do with family, right? And it was fantastic. But one of the things I realized is that there are things that were happening with my family that I didn't hear about, you know, or I had heard about, and it was just, I guess they went in one ear and out the other because I was too busy living my own life or something like that. So, and the same thing goes for friends, you know, and so I'm really trying to make an effort this year of putting in as much to the relationships as people are trying to put into them with me, and that goes for example, my YouTube channel I have with Emily of Wikipedia over on the Borough. I really want to put a renewed effort into it. I want to make sure that the connections I've made through YouTube stay strong or even strengthened. But you know, of course, I want to maintain that connection with my family and my friends, and that's something I really need to work towards this month because of the kind of person I am. Is like, yeah, I like hanging out with people, I like going out for drinks, but I'm just as happy just to sort of sit in my apartment and write with myself and have a beer and not really talk to anybody. And that's something I really need to improve upon because eventually I'm going to be a 50-year-old guy and those people are going to be gone, and I'm going to be like, oh, where the fuck did everybody go, kind of thing, you know. Now, the last thing I really want to talk about as far as things I want to improve this month, I want to sort of improve the outreach I'm doing. When I say outreach, I mean socially. I used to be really active when I was in college and for the years thereafter, and particularly in civil rights and animal rights causes. So that's something I really want to get into going forward, and I would be lying if I said that the development of things politically in the States hasn't motivated this, but it's just, for me, it's been really disheartening to see how many people have chosen to give into the darkness that they feel around the new political landscape. And it's darkness, I understand. I want to be perfectly clear because, you know, I agree that everybody should have equal rights, and I agree, you know, I agree with so many things that people my age seem to agree with, at least according to the polls. But the one thing I never want to do is I don't want to give into the sense of darkness that, again, so many people have seemed to. Where, you know, they think there's no way they can stop anything or make things go for the better anymore and things like that. So while the last 2 years being in here have seen me grown into a better person, I think, and I feel like my life and the way I'm going, my trajectory is much healthier and will wind up with me being in a much better place than it would have been had I stayed in the States and kept on living the way I was. What that's also resulted in is sort of this sort of inward looking, and again, you know, I mentioned this with my personal relationships, this sort of inward looking way of living that causes me to sort of ignore everything else, you know, beyond sort of like seeing like a post on Facebook and being like, oh fuck, that's terrible, and then moving on, you know, and it's not enough. It can't be enough. So anyway, those are things that I'm happy with what I did in the past month, but there's also some things that I'm really looking forward to trying to improve upon here in February. Now, I was really interested when I did these kinds of videos, when I thought about starting to do these kinds of videos, I should say. I was really interested in getting you guys involved because I thought maybe I could pull you into this, and maybe we could generate a little bit of positivity together and a little bit of momentum together to see, you know, just to see what we could accomplish. And so to that end, I took to Facebook and asked you guys what are some things that you felt you did great in the past month, that you thought you did well in the last month, and that you know, what are some things you're wanting to do better going forward. And so I got a response from El Camado, who's been a friend of the channel for a long time. And you know, he mentioned how he's gone to more cons. By the way, his channel is about like fandom cons, you know, anime cons, things like that. And he mentioned how he's gone to more of them, and he's trying to get over his shyness and asking people for pictures and if you can shoot videos and stuff like that. And so he really feels like he's improved in that regard. but he's also talked about how he has this need. He really needs to go for it, Mom. He really needs to keep going for it. And he also has to develop more of a sense of narrative in his videos instead of just showing random clicks and pictures of different cons and cosplay and stuff like that from the different things he goes to. So it sounds like, Al, that you've got some really good stuff you're aiming for the next month. I wish you the best of luck with it. And yeah, man, I mean, you didn't ask me for advice, but the only thing I can say for the both of us is let's just go for it and do our very best. So I think that's where we're going to end the video today, guys. If you didn't have a chance to see that post on Facebook and you weren't able to give me your feedback in that way, please let me know down in the comments below what are some things that you want to improve upon going forward here in February. What are some things you really did well in January? I'd love to talk with you, of course, about those down in the comments below. Thanks always for watching. Please like and share this video if you did in fact like it. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all very soon indeed. Cheers. We should be camping out on a beach tonight. Hopefully those words don't come back to bite me, but yeah, we'll see what happens. So anyway,